Building a Brunswick rifle from parts. William Hovey Smith, 2014. Well, this is how that rifle I'm holding looked when I started, and now we're going to do a complete restocking and build up a gun from parts.
I'm Hovey Smith, the backyard sportsman, and we are about to start some new adventures in the gun crafting department. And this concerns an historic arm known as the Brunswick rifle, named for the Duke of Brunswick. Now, the good Duke was an English German in the sense that he was a member of the British royal family, but also had Germanic roots. And he was largely responsible for the introduction of the second kind of rifled arm that was introduced in fairly large numbers in the British military service. And this is one of the original guns, right here. This particular gun was made in Nepal, an ally of the British, and they produced their own guns as well as used those that they could get from various sources in the British Empire. These particular guns were handmade at the time. This was before uniformitarianism, if you like, was adopted for arms making, generally speaking. It was to be 2 generations of guns later that all guns were gauged and everything was produced in exactly the same way, and the parts were interchangeable. Not so with these guns. These were made in small shops both in Europe as well as in Nepal, and each part was handmade. This barrel, for example, is not a bored barrel. It is hand forged, lapped around a mandrel, and then bored and rifled. In particular, the Brunswick rifle used a unique kind of ball in that it has a waist to it. It is not perfectly round, but the waist fits in 2 grooves inside the bore. And the ball is mechanically indexed in the bore. It does use a patch, however. It's not fired as bare ball as a rule. Now, this particular rifle, as you see, is reasonably complete minus the patch box. All right. They were not very highly thought of in the royal arsenal of Nepal, and quite frankly, they were put in about the worst storage conditions possible. And this rifle has wormholes in the butt. The wood here is pretty sound, but not all of them fared so well. The metal parts here was salvaged from rifles where the buttstock was completely rotted off. I mean, there wasn't anything left worth having. And as it came to me as a parts gun from Atlanta Cutlery. And so the barrel actually is a better barrel than on this gun. Okay? But a lot of the other parts were missing, particularly the stock was gone from about here back. And if I was going to redo this gun, I'd have to completely restock it. Well, fortunately, the Rifle Shoppe Incorporated of Oklahoma carries parts for British martial arms. Yeah, they will send you everything. We looked at the parts. We found that the trigger guard was broken. However, we could get a replacement. Not exactly the same, but maybe close enough to fit in the stock blank. We also needed a new butt plate. Okay, now here is a rough cast butt plate. And you see the casting gate here is still on the metal. So this has to be removed, fitted, and actually put on the end of the butt. That's going to take a while, guys. Now, some of the other parts we were fortunate enough to salvage, more or less, including the trigger plate here and the trigger. The lock is in good shape, so that's a great asset. It has been repaired. It's actually been repaired with a piece of brazing here, which I think will probably hold just fine, but we shall see. Now, the metal parts that are being furnished as replacements are investment cast parts, and this is a spring that will actually go on the patch box. And so these are some of the parts I have in hand right now. So we will be about rebuilding this gun. Nice new ramrod, by the way. It's better than the original. In the next several months. And we'll bring you along and show you how it's done. But now, this is Hovey Smith, reminding you to hunt what you eat and eat what you hunt. Be legal, be ethical, be safe, goodbye, God bless, and see you next time.
This is a picture of the Brunswick's belted ball and distinctive muzzle. This is how terrible the lock looked from the parts gun, the brass, both old and some new, and the new buttstock. Now, I'm the author of prize-winning books like Extreme Muzzleloading, Backyard Deer Hunting, Crossbow Hunting, and Practical Bow Fishing, and these are out as softcover and e-books. I have an 8-book e-book series out for 2013-14, including one on building or restoring your own muzzleloader. The Brunswick rifle and the parts gun were purchased from the Atlanta Cutlery in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, these are sold strictly as collector's items and may be unsafe to shoot. If you're going to shoot them, have them checked out by a competent gunsmith. Now, the Rifle Shoppe in Jones, Oklahoma has a full set of parts for these guns, including replacement barrels. These guns are to be shot with extreme care. Neither they nor I can take any responsibility for these guns when they're shot. Good hunting and good eating from the outdoors. Goodbye and God bless.